art doesn't just reflect its creator, it can also showcase when it came to fruition.
In tonight's Eye on KELOLAND, we're taking a closer look at a new album made by local musicians. Dan Santella takes you inside the rock of Ghost and a Guest.
The album Ghost and a Guest comes to our ears from Sioux Falls area musicians Brian Masek and Toby Kane. Each of them share songwriting credits on all the album's songs.
Toby approached me and said he had a project and would I be interested in producing it. He played the stuff and it was really cool, but I was just more doing live stuff at the time, and so I said, you know, thanks, but no thanks. But you know, maybe I'll play some bass parts on it.
But that would change.
COVID hit and started becoming more prevalent in the area. It was pretty obvious we weren't going to get to play a lot of shows, and so it seemed like it could be a really cool musical outlet. So I basically went back to Toby and said, hey, let's go all in on this. Let's just try to make this the best thing we've done.
The album came out on Halloween. When asked about a lyrical theme, Kane points to 2020.
I've been very fascinated by ghosts my whole life, but also just this idea that during 2020, everything was a guess. You know, we didn't know what tomorrow was going to bring. And so that kind of kept coming back to me. It's like, you know, how do you connect with people when you're so isolated? You know, if everything's a ghost or if it's a guess, you know, what are we doing right now to connect and stay connected?
So the way the process worked is Toby would come up with it on his phone, send it to me. We would go, okay, that's cool, you know, and here's the tempo that we want.
I would have an idea and I'd just say, Brian, like, amp it up, make it better, which was cool because that was one of the fun parts about being isolated, is that neither of us were married to an idea of what something sounded like.
He'd record his acoustic and vocals over it and then send that back to me, so then I would have a starting point that's referenced to you know, a tempo. And then from there, I would start putting in drum parts.
Masek is a bassist, but he did much more than that on this album. Besides playing bass, keys, and guitar on Ghost and a Guest, he also produced it. Kane sings and plays guitar and keys.
I think we FaceTimed a couple times, we had a couple calls, and the rest of it was via email.
Other artists feature on the album too.
I think half a dozen people just did it all through the internet.
I think it's rock. We've been told it's dad rock, 90s rock, 2000s rock, you know, old rock, whatever.
Whichever kind of rock it is, it works for him.
At a time when everything was going 100 different directions, to just do something sort of straight ahead and rock and poppy and catchy, I thought was cool. I mean, I needed it.
It touches a lot of different styles of rock.
Music doesn't just impact an audience experiencing it. It also affects the artists who offer it to the world.
You want to create something with heart. You want to create something that resonates with people, hopefully, and then also just fulfills you.
With Eye on KELOLAND, I'm Dan Santella.
And if you'd like to hear the album, we've posted different ways you can do that with this report on KELOLAND.com.